Hello, beautiful being. I'm Trini, and I wanted to take some time to make a video to share with you some tips about how to remain unfazed and unbothered when people bring you negative comments, insults, rudeness, feedback that you did not ask for that is destructive. Okay, I'm not talking about constructive criticism because that's something that we can always use. But I'm talking about things that are destructive in nature and that are meant to sort of get at you and weigh on you and distract you from your path and purpose. If you are focused on what you are doing with your life, you're focused on your peace, your growth, you're leveling up, you are putting your creative energy out there, or maybe you're just saying, you know what, I'm ready to tell the world who I am. I'm letting go of all the lies and all the facades, and I'm ready to just be uniquely me. And then somebody comes along and they have something to say about it. If that's you, then this video is for you. I have had to develop these or come up with these tips or these ways of transmuting negative energy because I'm a Cancer sun, Cancer rising, and so I'm very sensitive. Since childhood, I've always been able to sense all the ish. And I was told that my sensitivity was, I needed to pray it away. I needed to ask God to help me to transform that sensitivity into what? I don't know, insensitivity. But I am so grateful that I wasn't just taught this by an adult or by my parents, because having to figure it out on my own makes it that much more purposeful. And I know that this is one of the main reasons why people quit being who they are. They quit walking their path of truth and of what is really meant for them, because they experience these people who just can't bring themselves to be kind and loving and encouraging. We know that there are a lot of people like that out there who cannot show love or cannot express encouragement. So if they're not encouraging, then they spend their time discouraging. But I want you to stay encouraged, so that's why I'm bringing you these 4 tips. I did take notes in the car rider lane when I was picking up my son earlier today, so I have the notes that I'll be looking at, okay? All right, the first tip is, if they're not giving you constructive criticism, their rudeness is nothing more than an expression of their own misery, okay? And this is when people they may be enamored with you, they may admire you, and there's something that they see in you that they really like, but they can't imitate it. And that's the problem, is that instead of spending their time and energy on developing their own unique talents and gifts, they're spending their time and energy trying to be like you. So that's number one. It ain't gonna work because you can't be like me. Nobody can be like you. We have to be ourselves. So it frustrates them when they can't imitate that. And so they will, out of frustration and then misery, they will take that out on you and throw insults at you. Now, there is one exception. Sometimes people will sort of spout off at the mouth or say rude things, insensitive things, because they're simply insensitive. And these are the people who you tell them that they insulted you, and they're like, oh, what? Now sometimes they be trying to play you. Like, they didn't remember what they said. Okay. But in some cases, it really is that they're just insensitive and they weren't paying attention to how they were phrasing something. They may have wanted to help you or not help you, or they didn't care, but they were just talking. It wasn't necessarily that they wanted to eat away at your self-esteem, but it was just that they made a comment that was not sensitive. And so this is a big issue when you start talking about like insensitive people and sensitive people coming together, because if you've got somebody who never watches how they phrase things, they never really put forth the effort to say things in a kind, caring way, and then you've got a person like me who senses all of that, then at some point that's going to become a problem, and you would need to talk about that. You can use that situation as a teachable moment. Look, what you said, it made me feel like so and so and so. You can use that as a teachable moment if you want. That is your choice. And if this is a friend that said something like this to you, or maybe a family member, and you have you've invested energy into this person and you care about your relationship, then please speak up for yourself, because this isn't something that you want to sweep under the rug. You want to let them know. But if it's from an acquaintance or somebody that you rarely deal with, I would just say, you know what? If it's something that happens again, if I experience that again, I'm either going to have to let them know, or I don't need to associate with that person anymore, because I'm not going to make myself available, my energy available for them to just simply do whatever, and be insensitive and rude. But when the person is aware of what they're saying, it really truly is a misery loves company type of situation. And they are so insecure, and truly it's frustration that they can't, go in their closet and dress up like you, and then bam, they have your magic. Or they can't, do the same kind of project that you're doing, and then bam, they're living your life. They can't replicate it. Said just because you might think to yourself, well, am I really all that? Yes, you are. Those people can see the greatness in you before you feel it sometimes. So just know, and let that be confirmation of how amazing you are. Because when people come at you from the left, they really are trying you. They're trying you. And the insults came with a purpose. The insult is there to try to see if they can tear you down and see if they can keep you from shining. Because when you start shining so bright, it makes them feel like they just standing under the shade, not doing nothing. Not doing anything. So, keep shining. Don't even worry about it. You just keep going, and let that be confirmation that you are on the right path. You are doing exactly what you came here to do. Number 2 is to separate your sense of self-worth and value from the feedback and comments or opinions of others. And that's huge right there. If you can do just that, I promise you that will make such a huge difference in your level of peace and happiness, and your ability to still channel your own creative efforts. When someone is throwing you some shade or whatever, because what they say to you and what they think or feel about you has nothing to do with your value, your focus, your plans, your purpose, your talents, your gifts, and your goals. Nothing at all. Your purpose, path, gifts, and talents could be on one end of the world, and their thoughts about it could be on the other. The two would never intersect, and you would be just fine. You will still do what you came here to do. But when the two intersect, when we are doing what we came here to do, and then bam, it's like you hear something that's just like, what? Like, where? Then you start second guessing yourself, and you're saying, am I doing okay? We don't need to even ask those questions. Their comments have nothing to do with your greatness. And so it's irrelevant, and investing in their reactions to you is handing over your power. And you don't want to hand your power over to anybody, but especially, why would you hand your power over to somebody who is spending their time looking at you? Like, if they're so worried about you, they're not doing what they came here to do. So how can they help you? And that's another thing, is like, think about, I didn't even write that down. Think about who you're getting advice from. Have they been in your shoes? Have they been at your level where you are now, so that they can help you, help pull you up? And that's not to say that you can't learn from people who haven't achieved your level of success. We absolutely can. But if someone is criticizing you or insulting you, and they have not been where you are, like, that discredits them before they even open their mouth. So number 3 is to bring your focus back to your purpose. And that is so important, because having your vision locked into your mind, and having images of what it is that you are doing, having that sentiment of this is why I'm doing this, and this is where I want to go. This is the end result that I am achieving. By having that, you will not be shaken from your true purpose and path. And that is really the damage that comes in from these insults. You start questioning yourself. Then you're like, well, am I even that great at this? Or is this really meant for me? Maybe I should just go back to square one and do like I was doing before and be my old self that was like yes to everything and whatever, whatever it is that you're working on. Maybe you're leveling up in a certain area of your life and you're like, well, I was kind of comfortable with where I was before. Maybe I should just go back to that. No, absolutely not. Go back to the visions that you had and why it was that you started this thing in the first place. Now, for me, I like to do that by daydreaming, because the visions that I have are like actual visions. Like my spirit allies have come to me and shared things with me about my purpose and my path. I reflect on my own soul's intentions in this life and why I'm here. And so I go back to those moments where I have had astral experiences and connections, and that motivates me to always get right back to my purpose. You might do the same thing. You might keep a journal of your intentions and why you're doing this. You might like a vision board. I have one of those somewhere, but I like to do mental work, so I prefer to just do it with my mind. But vision boards are absolutely wonderful. You might just give yourself a pep talk and say, yeah, look at yourself in the mirror like, yeah, man, yeah. You can do that. That is incredibly empowering. And also, I love to read tarot. That's another thing that I do to motivate myself. Sometimes I'll just sit and I'll ask. Now, you got to ask the right questions, though. Because if you start asking, like, you could ask, why did this person say this to me? If you really need to know, sometimes, especially if it's a person that you had invested something in, then you might really need to know, like, is this person coming at me wrong with some negative energy, but I find that a really good question to ask tarot is, what's distracting me? And where should my focus lie right now in order to be dedicated to my path and to my purpose? So that can really help a lot. So I like to sit and be with my cards and reflect on that, okay? You might have a playlist that pumps you up. You might have a vision playlist, songs about prosperity or about self-love that motivate you with your dreams and goals. So yeah, absolutely. Those things are great to do, but you have to come back to your focus, because people will sometimes just momentarily take that away from you. And it's not necessarily that they take it away from you, because nobody can truly take it away from you, but they make you question it. And you, before you know it, you're wondering, what am I doing here? And that's how they take away your joy. And your joy is not to be taken away. Okay, that is yours. Okay. The final tip is to survey, transmute. This does have a little bit to do with energy, because I said that it wasn't about energy, but there's a little energetic work involved with this one. Survey, transmute, and return to sender. So the way that I like to work now, and I notice this more and more, like now that I'm 40 years old, when I'm done with something, I'm done with it. Unless spirit brings it to me, like high vibrational, like divine love brings it to me and says, this is something, Trini, that you need to reflect on, because you weren't quite done getting the lesson, or you got that lesson from it, but there's another lesson that we want you to benefit from. So then that's okay. But other than that, once I'm done with something, I'm done. I let it go. And it's never going to bother me again, because I have gotten everything out of it that I needed to get out of it. Okay. So I will survey the situation and reflect on it. And I'll look at it like, okay, let me make sure I've learned everything from this experience that I needed to. Because truly, every single experience that we have in life, it comes to us to teach us something. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, yes, let's make sure that we are learning from it. Transmute the energy. by transmuting it, you're taking whatever energy that person gave you and you are making it work for you. So if this person makes me question my path and makes me question like maybe how I do something, then I'll sit there and say, okay, well, am I happy with how I do it? Does it work for me? Okay, then I'm good. And then I'm like, now let me think about why I love it. Because I'm awesome, because this works for me, because this is great. And think about how much work I had to do to figure out this way for me to do it. You know, and then I start building myself up. That's transmutation. You're taking something negative and turning it into a positive, something that works for you. Okay? And then whatever energy is left over, I return it to the sender. Now, that's what I do as a spiritual worker. I take negative energy all the time. I have protection set up so that whatever someone sends to me, if it's negative, if it's low vibrational, it goes right back to them. I don't want it. You know, it's like if I order something from Amazon and it's the wrong size, I'm going to send it back. It doesn't work for me. So why wouldn't we do that with energy? You're going to have to take that back. I did not order this. And you can transform it into something that works for you. You know what I'm saying? But I love my return to sender. And then that way I can just let it be and know that I have gotten every benefit out of that experience that it came to bring me, every lesson, and then I'm done with it. After that, I have nothing left to do with it. I'm gonna just keep being my fabulous self. And you can keep being your fabulous self too, okay? Don't let those people get to you, because that's what they came to do. So, you know, you don't need to let them win. And as long as you are true to your path, you will always win. They could win or lose. There doesn't have to be a winner or a loser. We can all win together. But they want to make it a competition. They don't see that. So let them have their competition with themselves or with somebody else. But my thing is, like, I'm not competing with you because I'm focused on my own thing. So I'm not competing. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I wish you peace, joy, and many blessings. Take care.